It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys. Well, I hope you had an amazing weekend full of memories, fun. I don't know what you did, but I just hope it was great. In the meantime, guys, we are back for Hot Messy Topics. We had our Real Housewives of Atlanta episode yesterday. And then, of course, you know that I dropped my interview with Sidora, which was so much fun. There's a lot to talk about in the Beverly Hills world, the Dubai world, Vanderpump Rules world. I mean, I don't even know where to start. But before we do, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, let's welcome Jason.
Yay, so much to talk about.
I'm like, where the hell do we start?
Oh my God, I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. But if anyone wants to check out your interview with Sidora, it's in the description below. It was one of my favorite interviews you've done. I thought it was just a fun conversation. So check it out if you haven't done so.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there is a lot to talk about. Jason, and everyone in the live chat, I guess I'm going to ask you, do you want to start with Vanderpump Rules? Get that kind of out of the way? Should we start with Beverly Hills? Talk about a little bit of the Dubai stuff? Where do we go?
Let's go ahead and start with Vanderpump Rules while people get into the room and we can bore them with that.
Thank
gossip.
You, Amanda. Also, thank you.
Thank you. Feel better, Amanda.
Yeah, feel better. All right. So, that is never fun.
It is not fun. We've been there. So Vanderpump Rules, Sheena got married. She had her wedding, but there was a lot of stuff that I guess transpired at the wedding that hopefully, that now I want to watch it, that we'll see on Vanderpump Rules.
Yes. So I wanted to bring this up, but apparently from what we're hearing, and this was a rumor before, but we heard that Raquel and Tom hooked up at the wedding. Now, there's a lot of people. I actually asked one of my friends, and they said this is true. One of my friends who's associated with the Vanderpump Rules crew. And then another person told me it wasn't true. So I'm like, you guys are steering me all over the place. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out on the show. But the rumor is that Tom Schwartz and Raquel hooked up at Sheena's wedding. Now, what we didn't know was Katie Maloney was apparently, stick with me on this, originally invited to Sheena and Brock's wedding. Okay. Right. What happened was she was disinvited. Now that part is true because we heard that Brock, went on social media and commented about it. I don't want to just sit here and put out stuff. I want to just share the screen and show you guys what I'm talking about. 200 in the room, smash that like button. But here we go. Katie Maloney seen screaming at ex Tom Schwartz and Raquel after catching them heavily making out. Katie wasn't at the wedding though. Brock said she was disinvited and rocked up anyway for a girls' trip, which was kind of awkward. She showed up to Mexico during their wedding with Christina Kelly for a girls' trip, but I don't think that was Katie's plan. I bet you, I can see what happened here. I bet you production was like, no, Katie, you have to show up. We need some drama. And that's exactly why she showed up.
Of course, and maybe she's like, I was disinvited, but I already had my ticket. I already had my place booked. So I'm still going to go and turn it into a girls' trip, which is, BS. It's probably production 100%. Right.
But Katie said, I'm enjoying all the untruths. So what part is not true? We know if Brock's saying she was disinvited, then it was his wedding. So obviously she was disinvited, but maybe it was the screaming at her ex. But did Tom Schwartz hook up with Raquel? Again, we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out on the show. I wouldn't be totally shocked though. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't either. This is the incestuous crew. God, I can't even talk today. Of Vanderpump Rules. I mean, this is how the show started. This is, how it was. Everyone is each other's ex and partner for the night or whatever the hell. So it wouldn't shock me, especially if they spend so much time together and stuff too. I just wonder how this will all affect, if this is true, let's say it is true, how is it going to affect season 10? I mean, James with his new girlfriend, Katie, just say that happened. Say it becomes something.
Did say that James went after him a few times, not physically, but was like, dude, is this true? Is this true? And Tom said in an interview, I believe it was actually a podcast. I think it was Shenanigans, Sheena's podcast, but he said, it took me 3 times to explain to James this was not true at the time. But he said, listen, Raquel's really cool. I've never really looked at her like that, but she's sweet. And then Raquel came out in an interview and said, we haven't hooked up. We haven't made out or kissed yet. But if you're saying yet, then are you teasing us? I don't know. It's just kind of whatever. in Vanderpump Rules. I don't know. But I am excited to watch this season. I think it's going to be really good. Now, Vanderpump Rules aside, because we can't confirm any of that, I do want to talk about the drama that's going on behind the scenes on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, there was a guy.
Gosh, I really, it's every time you mention Beverly Hills, like I don't look forward to Wednesday nights when we have to watch it.
Right.
Like, that's how like crazy it's gotten and just kind of like weird. I feel like we're past the point of cattiness and now we're into this like,
Nasty.
Like I need to have something on you. I need to have the receipts. Like when did it turn into all of this? Like it's not fun anymore.
It's not fun, but there is a lot of drama, so we do have to talk about it. And we know that there's this guy, Patrick, whatever his name is. I don't know his name.
Patrick Summers, who apparently is a very big liar. But
yeah, well, that's what they're saying. I don't know if he's a liar or not. We'll see. So he's claiming that he and his company, they were the ones behind these bots going after Garcelle's son. But he claimed that he was hired to do a job by one of the Real Housewives, or maybe even two. This is what he's alleging. But he never intended for the bots to do or put out racist stuff. This is what he's saying. He's like, I would never condone this. And then he also said, I am the first person ever to be invited who's not a family or friend by Bravo to a reunion, saying that he's going to be brought to the reunion to hold Lisa, Rinna, and all of these other people accountable. Well, I was talking to Zach, which, by the way, people were messaging me and saying, are you and Zach in a feud? We're not in a feud. Stop trying to make this happen. It's not happening. We're not fighting. I'm not fighting with anyone. Okay. I always get that. Like, well, you guys haven't been working together, so you must be in a fight. We're not in a fight. But I did want to bring this up because Zach posted this and he kind of debunked some stuff. So hold on. Let me bring up his screen. I don't think you saw this.
I was trying to find out, what does this Patrick kid do? Like, it doesn't say anywhere.
Well, let's see.
Who is Patrick Summers in this world anyway? Was he hired by Kathy Hilton, Lisa Rinna, Garcelle?
Oh, I don't think that. I don't want to play it because of the music, but he starts talking about it and he starts saying that none of what he's saying is true and that they don't have any information on him. And he's also saying that Patrick claims that he runs this big company that has to do with social media. However, he doesn't have a digital footprint. So does he really run this big company? But then Zach was saying that this guy comes from Utah. He comes from a lot of money. His parents paid for him to come out to Los Angeles, and he's just trying to get some attention. I don't actually know what's true, but at this point, I don't know who in their right mind would claim to be the one behind the company sending out bots who are saying the things that they're saying to Garcelle's 14-year-old son.
Honestly, I think this is someone who's just looking for a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Even Judgy Justice just brought it up too. He's a big liar and chases clout in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. He tried to say he was one of their assistants. And, you know, I just think from whatever's going on and from everything he keeps putting out, it is kind of rings true to me.
But then he just posted Kathy Hilton's phone number on Instagram.
You know how many phone numbers you can get?
Yeah.
And is it her real number? You can change names and phones. You can do whatever.
You can do whatever.
I don't know. You can do whatever. So who knows?
Judgy Justice, thank you for the super chat. Krista Marie, thank you for the super chat because I need something to balance out my mood. Okay. But it's Lisa Rinna still behind it, I swear. All right, so now I want to tell you guys, Lisa Rinna, for the first time ever, she's not going to be talking. Now, I don't know, it takes a force to keep Lisa Rinna quiet. And I wanted to bring this up because her last post before she deleted it was her flipping off the camera, drinking a drink, whatever, at, I don't know. The story is no longer available. Did she take her stuff down? Oh, no, she didn't. Okay, hold on. And she was like flipping off the camera. I wouldn't be surprised if she did. That's why people screenshot. Story is no longer available. Okay, this one. So she put right here, because Cece Loves You from Instagram, who, you know, we're good friends with Cece, asked her, hey, Rinna, you posted Bravo's statement about Garcelle's son, but then you took it down. What happened? She said, I archived it. That's all. I've been keeping my social page very edited. If you'll notice, I'm keeping it very positive, non-negative, and fashion and fun. I don't want anything negative on my grid. And since my own children are being threatened as we speak, I felt it's best to archive it. The statement did nothing, so why keep it up? Our children are getting dealt threats, all of our children. It's gone beyond, and I need to keep my family safe now. I will no longer be saying or posting anything on the show. I doubt that, but okay. Then I've been saying to you for how long, Jason, that I don't think Lisa Rinna will be returning next season.
I mean, okay, so I've said too that it would be best for her not to. I mean, when she appears on live with Ryan and Kelly and replaces Kelly for a minute, she really, I've seen her in Chicago the musical. She is someone who had a career before this, but I think she should leave the show to go back to do what she's good at and be seen in a different light, because this is just destroying her image completely.
I mean, 100%.
Completely.
She also put, I never had Real Housewives of Beverly Hills anywhere on my Instagram in my profile, and I've recently edited my Instagram page for fashion, fun, and family. I took away 8,000 photos. I did that about 3 weeks ago. If you go and look, there's still housewife stuff on there from the reunion, from the wine scene in Province, dancing in Province, the end. Now, this was her last one that she posted. I was Lisa fucking Rinna before Housewives, and I'll be Lisa fucking Rinna after. I think this is her letting us know, like, I'm good.
And you know what? It's time. Like, what are we playing? She also had that Instagram story where she was talking about, you know, isn't it funny how this is all coming out and happening right before the Aspen trip?
So
and
we
then
have to talk about that.
We have to say what?
I said we have to talk about that.
Oh, 100%, because she was referring to, do you remember what happened before that debacle on Vanderpump Rules? And I'm like, what does that have to do with production, Aspen, and Beverly Hills? I couldn't put it together.
No, listen, I think for Lisa Rinna too, she's kind of claiming that it's probably a producer who did this, right? Now, a producer who would have put this information out there to kind of take the attention away, like, hey, look over here. So we're not focusing on the Kathy Hilton Aspen drama. And she's like, that's going to come out anyways. I don't know if she's seen this week's episode yet. They usually get it like 2-3 days in advance. So maybe she's seen it. But my whole thing is if we're going to talk about it, I know for a fact, I've talked to housewives and other people, Lisa Rinna's whole system and way of thinking is, if you leak a story, then that story has to be talked about on the show. I also know for a fact, because we know a lot of housewives, that sometimes when the women want to bring up things about each other's businesses or their personal lives, Bravo will stop them. And they'll say, no, right now this person is a fan favorite or this person is doing this. So no, do not speak about that. Don't bring it up. And that's why, so for every interview that I do that has to do with Bravo, we always have a PR person in the room. It's only happened to me once where I've asked a question and somebody has come back into the Zoom and they're like, no, scratch that question. Or I'll get an email after where I have to edit the interview and take that question out, because they have full control over their talent, unless it was Jen Shaw. And then
a ridiculous amount of control.
A ridiculous amount of control, right?
I would never want to sign up for it at all.
But, you know, so they don't let you say certain things. But if it gets leaked out there and it's in the press, picked up by Page Six, Radar Online, and all of these media outlets, then it's out there. Then we have to address it and talk about it. So what she's claiming that the producers are doing by, you know, kind of steamrolling, she does the same stuff. You're just,
I know. It's crazy. I mean, we know, because we know a lot of other people who talk about the same thing. We know people in the press. We know other bloggers who have been leaked information from Lisa Rinna herself about things she wants to be talked about.
Right. I mean, I just talked to a housewife who's friends with her the other day about this. Yeah. Wild. I don't know. I mean, listen, she's like, I'm not going to talk about the show anymore. I'm not trying to. And I play devil's advocate, you know, like a lot of people say they want Lisa Rinna off the show, but be careful what you ask for, because will we still have as much drama if we have Lisa Rinna off the show? I'm not trying to get anyone fired or kicked off the show, but since you're in the business and your whole campaign is own it, well, you got to own it too, girl, because this doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. And the thing is a lot of people wouldn't be privy to the information that we just put out there, but I can see why she would be alluding to certain things, because people don't know that she also leaks things as well. And remember when they were all so awful to Lisa Vanderpump because they were like, you're leaking stories to Radar Online. And she's like, I've never leaked a story. I know so many housewives who leak stories.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Susan,
well, you can't. Sorry. Go ahead.
Has Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion been filmed yet? No. I believe it's on September 8th that they're filming it. And I don't think the Patrick kid will be there.
No.
So, I mean, Lisa brought darkness to Beverly Hills.
Well, speaking of Bravo and kind of just like shady things and hypocrisy, I do think it's funny how we've all seen the Real Housewives of Dubai reunion trailer, which looks great. I'm really excited for it. I don't know if it's going to be, do we know if it's going to be 1 or 2 parts or
It'll
just one
probably
part?
be no,
I mean, it's 12
it's not going to be
episodes.
just one part. It'll probably be 2 or 3 parts. Probably
Really?
2. Yeah, probably 2.
Jeez. I love how they allude though, Bravo, you know,
Oh, I
how
can't wait to see what people say about what you're about to say.
okay, listen, I'm not putting anything, I'm just saying this is Bravo at its finest, correct? I mean, you have um you know, the preview that we got was Lisa Milan saying to Caroline Stanberry, "Aren't you in Epstein's book? Or you're in Epstein's book, right?" I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen anything about it. I know that she dated Prince Andrew at one point or another. I know that a lot of people who were in that social scene, who are celebrities, who are, you know, of that wealth, were in his book regardless of
Like
whatever
name some.
happened. Yeah, like what, who? And the book? No, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the book. But I love how you have that, and they made that part of the preview. But then they have Naomi Campbell call in to say how great Chanel is when Naomi Campbell has actually been on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express private jet. Now,
To be fair though, maybe she chartered it.
okay, so that's the thing is you see all the flight logs. They're all public information. There's Naomi Campbell's name right there,
I don't see
right
it.
next to Bill Clinton's. It's straight in the middle.
Oh.
But that's the other thing I was going to mention too, is a lot of people have been associated with Jeffrey Epstein in his book on the flight. I mean, if you go down the list of flight logs, I had a heyday just going through all the WikiLeaks. I think they've made actual websites where you can actually look at the flight logs for Jeffrey Epstein's plane. And I'm going through and I'm like, holy crap, there is a list. I mean, you have Chrissy Teigen, Tom Hanks, Jim Carrey, Seth Green, Jimmy Kimmel, John Cusack, Kathy Griffin. So I know that also very big, you know, big wigs and wealthy people do lend out their jet, do rent out the jet. So I'm wondering if that had anything to do with it. But I found that funny. And I actually found that was kind of a low blow of Lisa Milan to say that. And it makes me think that maybe the whole Takeout Caroline thing was true. So I really can't wait to see this reunion because I love all of these women on Dubai. I love each and every one of them.
Yeah.
And I just want to see what it is. Now I'm ready for season 2. Again, like we talked about, adding 2 more women would be amazing.
Right.
But
Murray, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Bad and Bougie said, but not everyone should be accused of bad things. That doesn't mean they did anything wrong. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. And that's my girl said, Naomi Campbell is the moment. Let's be honest. You can never taint her. And that's the thing too. Naomi Campbell. So we met her once actually in Los Angeles. So sweet. One of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And she,
agreed.
You know, she's obviously a huge supermodel and everyone knows the name Naomi Campbell, but I mean,
you know the walk. I mean, literally, we saw a reference to it on last night's Real Housewives of Atlanta when Kenny was asking people to walk. But no, I mean, not at all. That's what I'm saying is like, it's just kind of hypocritical of Bravo to throw that in or to be said when not everyone is accused of doing things, you know, and like you said, you know, people rent out jets or like I said, you know, rich people rent out each other's jets. They charter each other's jets and stuff like that all the time. So I'm not saying anything like that. I just find it kind of funny. You're accusing one person of being in a book, but there's also people on flight logs that go on for days and days.
Right. Naomi is my queen, and Lit Real Red said he was all over the place, so a lot of people will be around him. That's true, and that's the
very
point.
True.
Our biggest celebrities were like that's you don't actually know who's associated with what. My whole thing is, and I know it's a conspiracy theory or whatever, but he ended up, you know, right before anybody got any real information because he knew so many people. So he went because they probably don't want that information out there. It's a lot. I don't even want to dive
like
down
I said. You know, not only all of these celebrities have been associated, it's like, do your research first if you're going to call out Caroline Stanberry for being in someone's book when many people are in her book, or many people were in his book, many people were on his plane. You know, I find that a low blow, which makes me think there was a pact to take out Caroline to begin with, and I want to know more.
Obviously was. Caroline Brooks admitted that she was a part of the pact. She's not going to sit up there and say, you know, like, no, there, you know, or yes, there was a pact. I was a part of it, but really she's like lying about it. Caroline Brooks just said, I was a part of the pact to take her down. Obviously, there was a pact. It doesn't matter. This is Housewives. People make pacts all the time. I don't think, like, it is what it is, but it's reality TV, which a lot of reality TV has become fake as hell. And now we got to get back to the reality of it. So if there was a takedown or a pact, let's talk about it. Let's mention it. Let's mention all of it.
I'm so excited for the Dubai reunion.
Yeah.
So excited.
Shay B said Hollywood keeps us wondering. Yes. Renting out jets, it's a rough life. Let's talk about
it's not like going to like Enterprise or Hertz, you know. You gotta call someone.
Too, for Diana Jenkins, and that's another thing too. And this could totally be a rumor. I don't know. This came out, I believe it was Bravo Snarkside who put this out there. I love these Bravo fan accounts. But that Diana Jenkins was addressed on the show, and they filmed a moment where they were talking to her about Epstein, and they edited that out of the show. So it just makes me wonder, why are we picking and choosing who's going to get the heat and who's not? But this is also Bravo. They're the ones who, you know, give the contracts to their talent. Really, once you sign that, you know, you sign your name on the dotted line, you're signing with, I don't want to say the devil, you know, like, I love Bravo, but
you just made a deal with the devil, friend, because now you're have signing no your say. Rights away. You're completely controlled. It's really interesting. I find though they really focus on Housewives and not so much like their other franchises. They really want their Housewives to have what seems to me kind of like a character that they need to play, and you know they need to fit this mold. Each cast has to have, you know, a villain, the nice one, the cool one, the fan favorite. It's like, I know, but you know, we've seen shows like this before. This is not how Beverly Hills started. This is not how even Atlanta or any of the other original franchises like season 1 started. You know, it wasn't as like.
Do you remember when Taylor Armstrong planned out said, and I'll take you out back and go Kentucky on your ass? What? Yeah. Listen. Okay. All right. So my whole point is Jason wanted to get this across about the flight logs, that there are a lot of names on the flight logs. And this isn't even defending anyone. This is just like, if we're going to talk about it, let's mention everybody who's on something and not just pinpoint, you know, like it's like when you have one finger pointed at someone and then you have what do they say? The other 4 pointed back at you. I don't know. Whatever. Well,
and I was also saying too, if that's all Lisa Milan has on Caroline, then that's not enough.
Right. Diana got like 2 sentences last episode. Haha, true Jason characters. It seems like they are phasing Diana out lately. I don't think that Diana will come back, honestly. I think that, especially, she just hired 24-hour security. She just hired 4 security guards to watch her in her house and her family 24/7 because people are attacking the hell out of her, accusing her of being the one who put the bots out for Garcelle's son. You never know.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason, listen, that's why they're losing a lot of us.
Yeah, unfortunately, on some franchises, I'm choosing to step away from, and it's hard to watch Beverly Hills. But now we're invested. We talk about it every week. You know, I want to see how this pans out, and I want to see what's happening in Aspen and how big of a deal, because this has been made in such a big deal on both sides. And we've heard rumors about Kathy, and we'll see if any of it's true and if anything has been edited out or not.
Yeah, well, it's not even rumors at this point. I mean, honestly, Kathy Hilton, guys, 500 in the room, smash that like button. Kathy addressed it. She said she didn't tell us what was said, but she already said, I said some really awful shit. I said it. And I said it about my sister.
And she doesn't know what's going to air or what we're going to see. So
she said, I was frustrated. I said something out of frustration. Yes, I was upset. I've apologized to my sister about it. That's why I don't understand. It's like, I don't understand the hit on Kathy. By like,
sorry, I'm just thinking, like, what is a day in the life like with one of these housewives now? Like, it used to be like kind of fun, and then now it's like when you have to wake up and get on your social media and see what the hell's going on, what's being said, what the hell kind of edit you're gonna get. Like, my anxiety is going through the roof just thinking about being on one of these shows.
You know what's so crazy is because sometimes, and you guys wouldn't know this, but Jason will go in and out, and like when we're not filming on here together, we just kind of do our own thing, and Jason will start doing emails, and then I get on the phone and I'm just like on the phone for hours, and Jason's like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, so-and-so from Beverly Hills, or so-and-so from OC, or Salt Lake City, or New York. When Jason's like, you're on the phone with housewives all day, but they love talking about housewives. Housewives love talking about, it's like they get immersed into this world, and then it's all, you're like consumed by it because
well, it's almost at the same time. Like I was saying, you wake up, like it's giving me anxiety thinking about it. You wake up not knowing how you're going to be presented on a show. And then it's like, do you go back to defend yourself? Because like, say you got season 1 of a show. You're one of these, the Dubai ladies who love, by the way, all of them, all 6 are amazing. You have them and now you're made to look this way. Like you're damn right. I would want to go back for a second season to go ahead and try to turn that image around, but it's like so much to worry about. It's like, what is she going to say? What is she going to drop? What is production going to do? What is Bravo going to show? It's just so much work. It's so much work.
Too, you're not privy to the conversations that are happening behind the scenes. Like you're not privy to anything that's happening during filming if you're not at that event, unless one of your friends who also filmed that event tells you. And then you're not privy to what's going on in the confessionals. So really, you might think that you have this edit and you're like really confident going into it. But like, Jason, we just had a conversation about this the other day with one of the housewives. And they were like, I was getting pissed at my edit. Like, this is not how I am. I was made to look.
But you have to fit the mold.
Ridiculous.
It has to be the character that has been created for you to play.
Right.
You were cast to be a stereotype of a character, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But people are reading right through it now, and I really wish they would turn it around, but it's a little too late. Too late.
I mean, that's my girl said, Kathy is a breath of fresh air on the show. She is just there for the laughs. I don't understand how anybody would want to pick on her, to be honest. And that's my whole point. And I've already talked about this. I don't want to keep talking about it and like, beating this to death. But my whole point is, if she said something about her sister and she apologized and owned it, what is the drive behind trying to continue to rip apart the family? Like that's the part I don't get. It's like, she already said, I said something out of frustration. I apologized. And then Kathy's so classy because if you see when she does interviews and people try baiting her, like at the MTV Awards, and they're like, Kathy, what do you think about Lisa Rinna? She's like, I think that she's a wonderful person. And I'm like, she's not going to give you what you want. Like, you want her to be like, I hate her. Kathy's not going to do that.
That's funny.
So, all right.
That's funny. We can only wait.
Lisa Rinna honestly needs the boot. Do you know what's the next Housewives to premiere? It's Potomac or Salt Lake City. I believe it's Potomac. Question, can Bravo go back and re-edit in the middle of a season and skip a week or two to go with more of the public opinion or whatever? Yes, Elaine, because remember there was that guy on Below Deck, and they do this all the time. I think that's why there was a gap from the Aspen trip, because all of a sudden last minute we found out last week we did not get a Beverly Hills
I think
episode.
It was planned like a week in advance, but I think from what I was seeing, I think it was planned to do. Yeah. But for no good reason. So that's editing. It's not like, oh my gosh, there's a new premiere of whatever. We had the Dubai finale. Maybe they wanted people to focus on that to get ready for the...
No, they would have put on Beverly Hills
you know what I mean?
traffic to the finale.
Exactly. So something's a little fishy with that.
Yeah. And on top of that, there was that guy, I forgot his name. He's super irrelevant, but he had the racist tweets on Below Deck. And they went in the middle of the season. They took 1 week off. And they edited his ass out of the entire rest of the season because these tweets didn't surface until after they were done filming. So it's not like they fired him while they were on the charter. They just had to go back and make sure that there were no scenes of him, which gives them a lot of extra work to do. I feel like Diana Jenkins is giving me oh gosh. Thank you. Hey guys, bring in Nicole Murphy. She was on the show with Sheree, so they have that connection, and Nicole will get you together. Also, Kim Richards obviously needs to come back. I said bring in Christine Quinn. Since she's no longer on Selling Sunset, let her
She's
come.
Not going to want. Here's the thing, okay? Because when you watch, and I know we're getting so off onto one thing, but when you watch Beverly Hills now, and say you're Christine Quinn, you've left Selling Sunset, you have a very successful real estate company, Real Open, that also you can buy and sell with cryptocurrency, and you're married to a big tech guy. I mean, she has everything going for her. Why, after watching this season of Beverly Hills, would you ever want to touch this show with a 10-foot pole?
Well, because she also said that she loves reality TV, and she said that she was made for it, and she'll never not be on TV. But yes, if you look at her now, it's like,
well, if she can come in and she can,
bring her.
Would you?
I would love it. And she's successful. She has her own business. She's selling real estate with cryptocurrency. or for
I know, I love
cryptocurrency.
it. Quentin Dean said, I need Christine and Kimora Lee to join Beverly Hills. I think Kimora was approached and she said she wouldn't do it. I can't remember. There was an interview that just released, or that she was just on, and she talked about that. I love Kimora Lee Simmons. That is like reality TV. Do you remember her show?
Yeah,
That was amazing.
Kimora would be great.
Yeah.
She said that they ask her all the time, but would she be in Beverly Hills? Would she be on New York? She has homes in both places. I think she's so much bigger than the Real Housewives. Like, I don't really think Real Housewives can make you look really shitty really fast. And,
Yeah.
Garcelle has been able to, she's been able to kind of pivot when things have been thrown her way. Like, do you remember when she was accused of not paying the $5,000 to Kyle's charity? Or it's not Kyle's charity, but the charity. And they tried to make her look bad. And then she was like, excuse me. And then she came back and she's like, don't do that shit. And then she ended up showing like, hey, I have the receipts. I paid it. Boom.
Yeah.
But it's like something like that can be so damaging. And even though it sounds silly, like, oh, I didn't pay money that I pledged to a charity. Yeah, well, then you look like you're still running in the social circles. They're like, oh, there's Garcelle who doesn't pay her bill. Like, they tried it.
Yeah.
But she
did try
handles
that.
it with
That
grace.
did not work.
Yeah.
100%.
So, I mean,
100. You know what's so funny though? Because you see all of these stories come out and you see people are now flip-flopping on how they feel about Garcelle, which I find funny because Garcelle has given us no reason to. I mean, I love her on the show. I like her as a person. It's everything. But now people are like, oh, well, Garcelle is exploiting her family just for fame on the show. And I'm like, where is that coming from?
Okay, first of
why
all,
are people now flopping on Garcelle for some reason? Garcelle is like the best thing to happen in Beverly Hills. It is the only thing I think besides her and
how is she exploiting her family?
Why? Yeah, because your sons were on TV at your birthday party. I mean, everyone shows their families on the show.
Yeah,
it's just strange. It's strange how you have that flip. I wonder where that's.
And
happening.
I also saw when Lisa Rinna too was talking about how everyone's children, like they're all getting nasty comments. I saw nasty comments about Erica's son, who's a cop, which is absolutely disgusting. I saw them about Kyle Richards' daughter, Garcelle's kids. People have attacked Amelia and Delilah. Really, it's all disgusting. It's across the board. It's disgusting. But
you know what though? It's like where does the blame come in? Who do you blame? The world is a very different place, especially after the pandemic.
Right.
Especially after lots of politicians and things like that. It's a very I don't know, negative place a lot. But when Bravo plays into that on the show, are they also responsible for that?
I mean, listen, the thing is too, when you put yourself out there, you're going to you don't just get positive feedback. And I feel like, do you remember when I first started the channel and there were a few things that happened and I started getting a lot of nasty messages and I looked at you and I just started crying and I was like, I'm not doing this. I hate this. I was not expecting this. And you're like, get up. Guess what, bitch? You signed up for this. You put yourself in front of people. Not everyone's going to love you and people are going to say mean shit. And I was like, you know what? You're so right. But that's the truth. It's people will pick a side. These shows are made for you to pick a side. But there's also a lot of hypocrisy here. It's all of our kids were being attacked and you should never talk about the children. And then, people talked about Erica's son, who's an adult. Well, Amelia and Delilah are also adults and so is Paris Hilton. And you talked about her. That's someone's child. It's a hypocrisy all across the board. It's really just
across the board.
Wild. 600 in the room, guys. Smash that like button.
Oh, jeez. Okay, no more Beverly Hills because it's driving me nuts. It gives me anxiety. I've had way too much coffee for this. I can't even talk. But
you're done.
I tried to implement your pattern of having too much coffee before going on a live, and now I'm just flustered. We have to stop talking about Beverly Hills because we're gonna have a whole dedicated live to that on Thursday.
Yes, which by the way, guys, so on Thursday, we're hoping, but sometime this week, regardless, if you see the banner going down at the bottom, we have a huge announcement coming this week, which you guys are going to love. I think you'll love it. We hope you love it. I don't actually know what happens anymore. Maybe you'll hate it. I don't know. But we have a huge announcement. We're very excited about it. We've been working really hard and yeah, that's it. So let's get into some Real Housewives of Atlanta because we had the interview with Drew Sidora and I was talking to Drew and I asked her, who would you want to bring back? Well, she gave me the face when it came to, I was like, Fallon? She's like, no. And I was like, okay, fair. Fallon wasn't really on there that much anyways. She was a friend of, They brought her on as Portia's friend, and that obviously didn't age well. We get it.
Yikes.
But Portia's been on the show for a long time, and she took the season off to try to push out Portia's Family Matters, and that was kind of a flop. People didn't really respond too well to that. And then all of her family started going after each other on social media and exposing things that were happening behind the scenes. Also not good. But Drew Sidora said that she would want Portia to come back to the show. Now, she said in our interview that Portia was going to do Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, which she already filmed in Thailand. She filmed it. I believe it was when Tinsley opted out of filming. They brought Portia in, which Portia should have been brought in anyways to begin with. I didn't understand that. Okay. Why would you ever, like, Portia should have been the first one on their mind before Tinsley Mortimer. Anyways,
Yeah.
Portia wanted to use this time to see, like, hey, do I want to get back into it? I have a wealthy husband. My life is good. I have my businesses. Do I want to put myself back onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta where the women are going to attack me and my relationship? Listen, this is what I think. When it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Portia would have definitely been a target this past season had she have filmed with the women because of everything that happened with Simon Gobadia and Fallon and all of that. The women would have totally made this into a storyline. Marlo and Kenya, they both voiced how, like, they didn't agree with Portia and they were taking Fallon's side. It's so obvious. That's exactly what they would have done. They would have went after her and her relationship, and she didn't want to jeopardize that. I get that. But now Fallon has a beautiful little baby, a new baby with Jalen Banks. She's moved on. Portia and Simon, they've been on Portia's Family Matters. We've been introduced to them. She's happy in her relationship. So who gives a shit? Bring her back on the show. If they try saying anything about her relationship.
Agree. There's that spot missing for Portia too.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we have.
I didn't
Kenya
say she's married. Sorry. I didn't say she's married. I said that she's getting married.
Yes. No, but you have Kenya, who's a big presence on the show. Marlo, I thought would have come in like differently. I don't know why. I was so excited for her to get the peach. But there's room. There's room. Again, leave it alone and add another.
Honestly, I like Marlo. I like our cast this season. I think that especially Sonia Richards-Ross, she's coming in and she has conflict resolution. She's like really good with her conflict resolution. She's like, if there's a problem, like in last night's episode, when her and Sheree, when they show up to Drew Sidora's house and Drew's like sedated on medication because she just went through surgery, which, that made me cringe looking at her Achilles and her ankle, and I felt so bad. But you see where she's like, let me call Kenya right now. Picks up the phone, and she's like, let's just get straight to it. But Sonia did admit Kenya read her for filth, and she's like, I was not ready for that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I really enjoyed the cast. What did Faces by Bravo posted something really funny? Every time you bring Sheree back on the show, she reminds you why she got fired.
No, I like Sheree.
Listen, at this point, it's been such a hurdle to get She by Sheree anywhere or anything. I don't know if we're even going to get She by Sheree, but it is fun to watch.
Yeah.
I can't believe they brought Dwight back for the fashion show.
I mean, of course they would bring Dwight back, but the thing is as of right now, from what we're seeing, it looks like Sheree and Drew are getting along because Sheree's showing up to support Drew after she went through her surgery, right?
Yeah.
So I don't foresee anything really going that wrong right before She by Sheree, the fashion show. And Drew still said, or she said in our interview, I still have not seen any of these fashions. So I'm wondering, what the hell is going on? Was the fashion show a flop? Were there fashions? Were there no fashions? Is it time to put She by Sheree to rest?
I don't know. I mean, yes, at this point.
It does not take...
But we're following a lot of
Sheree bloggers.
We're following a lot of Sheree journeys, like from the beginning, though. You know, She by Sheree, the whole Tyrone thing that happened 2 seasons ago, or when she was talking to him and stuff. Do you know what's funny about Sheree? She has like 3 phones on the show. She has 2 Samsungs and an iPhone, and she's always using them for different things. I mean, it's just, I don't know why. That's where I click when I'm watching Housewives of Atlanta. I'm like, that's a different phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think production is like, you need an iPhone so we can record you FaceTiming.
Elaine said, do y'all think Apollo will show? Yes, I do. And
yeah,
no, they're at odds. Drew and Sheree, look at the after show. No, I understand that, but they filmed the after show after they filmed the season. So they go back and rewatch it, and then they film the after show. So I know that they're at odds. She made that clear in the interview. But my thing is like, did something happen between the time that they showed up to support Drew to the fashion show? I don't think so. So if Drew still has not seen any fashions, did she go to the fashion show? Was the fashion show a flop? That's what I want to know. I mean, and if you go on, let's go like right now, while I have you on here, Jason, since you're not going anywhere. I want to bring up Sheree Whitfield. Okay, ShereeWhitfield.com. Let's just do this together and see. We can put this to bed. Are there joggers? Okay, not this one. Hold on. Here we go. We're going to put this to bed right now. Never miss updates. Sheree Whitfield, fitness, wellness, and lifestyle. This is her website. Connect, explore, meet Sheree.
But is this the actual Lines website? Is there a She by Sheree website?
Let's see. Fitness, wellness. You can't click on anything. Wellness. Live on purpose. So you can just... Oh, no.
This isn't a good look.
Oh, no. I don't think that they're... Learn more about Sheree. More. Okay.
Meet Sheree. Designer, the only designer to do 2 fashion shows without fashions.
Oh, wait a minute. Meet Sheree. Okay. Nutrition, determination, power, growth, wellness. Yes, but where the fuck is She by Sheree?
These are all great splash words and great marketing words for sure. But yeah, where's the product? Unless you're selling whatever that person was cutting into in the photo, some food or whatever. But
oh my God. Are there any fashion? So no fashion on the site. Wouldn't she be selling
Lit
fashion?
Real Red says not coming out until the fashion show, which probably makes sense too, because we haven't seen the show yet.
I hope so.
We hope. Yeah.
This would be like, that would be awful. Hey, new member, welcome. Yes, that would be terrible for Sheree. And, you know, like when we saw last night, the episode, Sheree, like all of the women are rallying behind her and trying to kind of show her, hey, we support you. We want you to make this happen.
We want you to win.
We want you to win. And
which I actually really enjoyed.
Adam, I'm dead. You were trying so hard to believe in Sheree. I'm trying. I'm positive. I want to see her win. I want to see the fashion show.
I don't believe. I like Sheree Whitfield. I don't believe in She by Sheree. I don't know if that's the right avenue.
Tinsley's opinion said, she said, get your credit cards ready. So that's what I'm thinking. But get your credit cards ready. Yes. But she also said last time, you know, when Andy was like, when are the joggers coming? She's like, fall, maybe September, maybe like spring, November, like when? And
what year? Like we got to stop with what season. We need what year.
Adam, are you waiting for Sonia's toaster oven? No, that's been dead for a long time. We're not waiting for that. That's what I heard somewhere. I'd have an anxiety attack if I were Sheree.
You know what's really funny is last night when Kenya came to the modeling agency to watch models, she had a lot of notes to give. The modeling scout, the booker. I thought it was so funny how the booker bit back and was like, if you want real models, you need real money.
And then she said, and Kenya, like,
so what, were people going to do this for free?
Do you know the booker too? Rowan, was that her name?
Yeah.
She's friends with Kenya now. They're friends.
Oh, I
now.
bet.
Yeah.
I bet. She bit right back.
Kenya
loved. She was in Prada.
Yeah, and Kenya
really
said,
good.
She's like, this is how we do all of our, like bookings. This is how we do it. And she's like, Kenya's like, oh, okay, so you do it the wrong way. And I was like, oh. And Sheree's like, Kenya, and she's like, listen, all of these models are 5'4", 5'6". Like, we need real models. She's like, well, you need to have the budget for real models. And Kenya's like, oh, that's the moment that Kenya fell in love with this woman. Like, okay, Shady. All right, I see you. And then she's like, what's the budget for real models? She's like 250, 500, a model. And then I was doing the math because Sheree said, I've already spent $1 million, Kenya, which she also recanted. But let's say,
of course, $1 million. I can put on a fashion show for $1 million. I'll put on a fashion show with a restaurant, 3 bars, an after party, a before party, parties for the next 10 weeks. $1 million.
That's my thing too, is like, let's say we need 20 models, right? And let's go somewhere in the middle, 250, 500. Let's just average $375 per model, 20 models.
Okay.
That is $7,500. So really, if you spent $1 million, $7,500 to have your real models, that would be a priority. It's a fashion show. The models have to be on point. Like we've been to, I mean, I was in a fashion show. Remember my tooth fell out?
Yeah.
Oh, you were in the fashion show too with me. My tooth fell out. And remember that girl, we were going downstairs and then the girl tripped and like kind of ruined the entire show. And then
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was L Fashion Week in where were we? Asia somewhere, right?
I don't know. But I was also in that other fashion show where we had to wear like these robes with no shirts on. And remember,
that was a good show though.
I stepped on the person's robe in front of me because I was walking too fast and I ruined the show. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm the worst ever. God, a fashion show with no fashion.
$1 million, but only wants to give a fourth of the party budget to Drew.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
So funny. So listen, hold on, I'm echoing really quick. Let me see if I can turn that off. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Oh my God, Bad and Bougie, so funny. It's funny to me that Sheree wasn't paying the models, but she wanted her son to get paid when modeling for Cynthia. But she did ask Apollo.
She has connections to jail.
You're shady as hell.
Just...
Well, he did talk about that too. He said that he met Tyrone and Tyrone was talking about how he was talking to Sheree and he's like, I didn't believe it at that time. But then you have over here watching all of this play out last night. You have Kenya and she's like, I am loving every minute of this.
Last night when you saw Apollo though, you're like, oh wow, he looks good. I was like, I don't know. And then I was thinking, they backplayed everything, from before with Phaedra. And I was like, yeah, after Ultimate Girls Trip, I was really living for Phaedra's reads and her confessionals. I really like Phaedra, but I don't think, her coming back. I don't want her on Dubai. I know that, but her coming back to Atlanta would be a great fit. Like you said earlier, I think Portia would be a good person to bring back.
Portia would be a good person to bring back, but Phaedra also called Real Housewives of Atlanta the Titanic. So, I mean, I don't think she'd be coming back anyways. And how funny was this last night when they did this little joint birthday party and they tried putting Marlo and Kenya in the same space and they're like,
I thought it was great
just to bring them together. And then Kenya walks in and shuts the door right on Marlo's face, which was so tough.
Kenya is ridiculous, and I'm living for her this season. I love how they brought their best friends and family there, so it's like they couldn't run. You had to be at the party.
Who made the toast? That was so classy. Like when she's like, "Listen, put this to bed." Like Marlo's friend is like vouching, saying, "I love Marlo, but I love Kenya. I think Kenya's amazing." And Kenya's just smiling, like, "Keep talking. Yes, please." And it's like, it's true. It's like, you guys this is all petty at this point. Marlo has said some really awful things about Kenya. Kenya said some really awful things about Marlo, but you guys are still going to have to film the show together. At this point, let's put it to bed. We're done with it. But I did think it was also funny. Drew and Sheree were going back and forth last night on social media, or maybe even this morning. And it was because Drew was like, you need to pay half of the invoice. And Sheree was like, I wouldn't have picked this tacky shit for a birthday party. And no, I'm not paying half of this. Maybe I'll give you a fourth of it. Then, of course, Drew's...
Well, then pay for Sonya's next party, please.
Yeah. Judgy Justice said Sheree needs to pay her bills. Oh.
Oof.
And see, Bad and Bougie said Apollo always looks good. Nobody can deny that. And he drove up in a Rolls Royce.
He did. And no,
his
that jacket he was wearing, I need to find out where that's from immediately. It was the 3/4. It was nice. The peacoat.
Apollo was one of the hottest husbands. Like everyone always credits Maurizio, but Apollo,
no. Oh God, no.
Apollo was up there for sure. Phaedra would be a great fit. Actually, you know who another one of the hottest husbands was? Do you remember what was her name? Catherine whatever on Beverly Hills, the one who was like, I can't hear you, I can't hear anything.
Oh yeah.
And she had the husband who I forgot his name, but he was an athlete.
Catherine Edwards.
Yes.
Yeah. NFL, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm living for Kenya. Kenya is a true businesswoman in charge, and she was trying to help. Yes, he is hot. That car was probably rented. He's a little puffy. Shay, you're all a little puffy sometimes. It's okay.
I'm still puffy from the wine I had last night.
Yeah. Can I ask, is anybody else like Drew, girl, what's going on with the makeup? Shady. Hey, Judgy Justice. Yeah, she does. She pissed me off not wanting to pay for half of the party. Oh, yeah. And Rob J in the city. Aaron is hot. Yes. But my point is, getting back to it, last night, Drew tweeted back out at Sheree, and she was like, listen, you're cheap. You needed to pay for it. This is the moment that I knew she wasn't going to pay. Sheree said, first of all, girl, production gave you $1,000 for that party. Anything that you spent over it, that's on you. That's not on me. And she's like, yeah, well, you paying is non-existent, just like your joggers. And I was like,
oh my God. Hey, maybe it just takes time, right? Okay, because we've watched Chateau
Jason, 10
Sheree.
years.
No, listen, Chateau Sheree, all right? It turned out okay. It just took a lot of time. Maybe we just need more time for She by Sheree.
You're building a masterpiece, but I'm talking about She by Sheree. We're talking about joggers.
What, She by Sheree can't be a masterpiece?
No, we can be a masterpiece, but I'm saying we're talking about joggers. We're not talking about a couture line. Like, honestly, you can even go on Alibaba.com, order some joggers, and then slap your logo on it, and then just
Which most housewives do with some of their products.
Right. But at least we would have had a fashion show. But maybe we will have a fashion show. I don't know. Again, I just want her to win.
She needs to call Brooks Marks immediately and figure out the formula. Because Brooks can do it, and he can do it fast, and he knows how to do, drops at a certain time, make people excited. Do that. Go call the kid and see how it's done.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Roman was hot too. I love Drew though. I don't understand why people don't like her. She is great this season. I think she's doing great this season too.
I love the cast this season. Please, I love the cast. We just need we need a little, not a shuffle. We just need another energy to kind of come in and give us a little more. Portia would be great.
The thing is too, Portia and Drew are really, really close. Sonia and Drew are not really close. Sonia has the tendency to, she says whatever she wants to say. Like, she calls people out. Sometimes she gets,
and she does it in the moment. This is why I really like Sonia. She does it in the moment. So
Portia would eat Sonia
it's like,
alive.
you know what? I need to call Kenya right now. I'm not happy about it. Calls Kenya. You know what? I'm going to call Kenya and invite her to, right in front, wherever she is, she wants to do it and say it. She just got caught off guard in Jamaica when she was like, what, Kenya? It's like, no, don't do that, because you're going to get torn down right away. She learned her lesson. She said it herself. But I do like how she does that.
If Sonia tried to read Portia, Portia would eat Sonia alive. Like, Portia and Kenya are quick. They're quick. I just like Portia, Nene, Kenya. I think those are the quickest ones. Candy sits back and she'll take it, but then finally she'll eat your ass alive. But it takes a lot to push her, right? And then, like some of the other women, like, Drew and Sheree, and they have
you need the calming force, right? You need the calming force. It just has to be there.
Yeah. Portia's reads are hilarious. Get her back pronto. I agree. It started out as an evening gown and went to a jogger. I hear Brooks has a great product.
Yeah, the quality is actually really good. It sounds weird, but I've touched it. I don't have one, but it's good quality.
Wasn't Jen wearing the Brooks Marks stuff to our interview? Like, when she came before she got ready while she was in glam, she was wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jason's touched it. Jason's like, I didn't get sent one, but I've touched it. The quality is nice. Thanks, Jason, for advocating.
You're welcome.
Brooks will take our Brooks Marks. Jason touched it. Yeah, I don't know what the hell he's going on with, but okay. Portia is not the one. She will read you for filth. That is why we need her. Did you see Drew and Sheree going at it on Twitter? Drew ate Sheree up. Yes. Jason fondled it. Jason, you touched it. Didn't Drew say on Watch What Happens Live she went in on Sheree at the reunion? I'm not a Drew fan, but I'm curious. Well, I asked her, what would you give your performance at the reunion? She said, listen, a 10 across the board. She's like, I did not leave anything, behind. I came in there. I knew exactly
left nothing behind.
Left nothing
behind. She said
behind.
that it is going to be a very, what is a good word to you? A very dynamic reunion. So I'm excited to see that as well.
I mean, I just want to see, it's going to be a good one. We got to see this fashion show. If this happens again, I'm going to call Sheree. I'm going to call Meredith. I'm going to have Meredith link up with Sheree, and we're going to make sure that the joggers come to life. That's what we have to do. But all right. Lord. Well, With that, again, guys, a big announcement. I don't know why I'm throwing my hat back like I'm relaxed like it's Monday. We have a big announcement coming this week. Hopefully, we'll be announcing it on Thursday for our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Dubai recap. I think you guys will be excited. Hopefully, you will. We put a lot of time and effort into this. It's going to be interesting. And in the meantime, thank you to everyone. Thank you to all of our mods. Thank you to everyone for the super chats, super stickers, and our new members. Again, if you guys have not joined memberships, go join memberships. Your first month, it's only $1.49. Our next members only live will be next Monday.
Next Monday before we go out of town. We have a lot to whine about as per usual, but yes, especially this Monday. And then guys, don't forget tomorrow night, if you are below deck watcher, we do Anchor Watch tomorrow night, 11 p.m. EST. So join us if you want to recap the silliness that is going on that boat.
I will be asleep.
You will. Although a few times you've been up either on the phone or jumping in on the chat. People like when you jump in on the chat. It's fun.
If I'm on the phone though, I'll go in. But last time I fell asleep, I think I was watching Hey Coffee Buzz. I think last time I was watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then you came in and it's like, ah, and you're like, who the falls asleep to this?
You're the only person who can fall asleep to like or like ding 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 ding. Or you were watching that horror film the other night and the phone just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And I'm like, is this not waking you up? Like, how are you that asleep?
No, and he's like, come here, kid. Do you want a Coke? I'm not going to kill you. And I'm like, and you walk in and you're like, why are you watching this?
There are better things to watch, Adam. Better things.
I mean, listen, we live right now. Yes. Well, we're about to close down, but all right, guys, I can fall asleep to horror movies. Me too, Lori. Thank you to everyone for joining us. We have a lot coming up this week. Thank you so much. And then in 2 weeks, we are taking a trip out of Florida for our next big interview. Hopefully you guys get excited.
Next week, not 2 weeks. That's next week.
Is that next week?
That's next week, friend. Yeah, next week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you have another interview dropping this weekend too.
So we're flying out on the day that the new episode comes out with the Kathy Hilton drama, and that's when it actually comes out. That's the real Kathy Hilton drama. And of course, we won't be here to probably cover it because that Thursday we have our interview. This is bitch.
We'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out. Okay. All right. Pack your bags. LOL. All right, guys. Like Bad Bougie said, bye. Have a blessed and successful week, and we will see you next time. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.